During an unseasonably hot week in June of 2022, I matched with a woman named Mara on a Seattle dating app that uses proximity pings to show nearby profiles. After days of 20-minute swipes, her page stood out because every photo looked candid, almost documentary. She sat in cafes reading city zoning blueprints, stared down from rooftops at shipping cranes, or leaned beside street murals I passed daily on my lunchtime walks. Yet each shot contained a sliver of reflective surface that caught the photographer's silhouette, always tall and backlit, never quite revealing a face. Curiosity mixed with the boredom of remote work pushing midnight. So I liked her profile, not expecting an instant response, but the app notified a match within seconds and displayed a single message already typed in the chat window. Met you before, just not yet. 8 lowercase words that felt more postcard than pickup line. Scrolling her bio, I saw nothing about hobbies or star signs, only coordinates that mapped to intersections a few blocks from my apartment, each tagged with a date 3 days ahead. I assumed guerrilla art project, maybe cinema school viral stunt, and shrugged it off until the next afternoon when my phone buzzed. Mara had added a new story photo of Capitol Hill's empty tennis courts, time-stamped 2 minutes earlier, the camera angled from the rooftop of my own complex directly into my living room windows. In the reflection of the sliding glass, I could see my silhouette seated at the desk, fingers on keyboard, precisely as I sat at that second. My stomach tightened, yet a rational part guessed geotag spoofing or coincidental framing, so I messaged something neutral about liking rooftop sunset views. The chat replied in under a heartbeat, "Sunset hides faces better. We'll meet ground level soon." I minimized the app, told myself to forget it. That night, the heat drove me outside to walk the blocks near Pike and Boren. Earbuds delivering a podcast, mind half on deadlines, and a push notification chimed. Mara is 0.6 miles away. I glanced around. Late commuters, bodega neon, no one taking photos. So I kept moving toward home until the app updated to 0.4. Then 0.2, closing distance with every step, no matter which direction I turned, as if the target orbited me on a shrinking radius. At 0.0, the phone vibrated once, then went silent. Streetlights flickered. Power grid groaned under air conditioner load. I looked up from the screen to find myself standing beside a plate glass storefront that had gone dark for leasing, its broad window reflecting the entire block. Staring back was my own image, and behind my reflection, inside the shop's pitch, a second figure matching my posture but without features, a matte silhouette holding a phone whose screen displayed me. I spun around, sidewalk empty, just the heat, the hum of sodium lamps, the distant hiss of buses. When I faced the glass again, the figure inside was raising its phone to level with my eyes. Backlight flaring white. Another app ping new photo posted, and on Mara's feed appeared the exact reflection moment stamped now. Fear edged in, yet I told myself augmented reality prank, someone recording passers-by and uploading. Still, I power-walked home, blinds drawn tight, phone off. Before bed, I opened the app one last time to delete my profile. Mara's page had updated again, now showing a single video clip titled "Pacing Above Ceiling Shot from Directly Over My Bed. Perspective Impossible Without Drilling Through Floors." I deleted the account, factory reset the phone, and eventually slept under the rotating blades of a desk fan. Around 3:30 a.m. I woke to vibration against the nightstand. Fresh device, wiped clean, yet a notification banner glowed. Mara has invited you to share your camera for better first impressions. Without touching it, the phone accepted. Both front and rear lenses activated, screen splitting my dark room above and the street 2 stories below. In the exterior half of the feed, a lone pedestrian in a black hoodie looked up, phone raised. When the hood tilted back a moment, the face below was mine. Same pallor, same scrape I'd earned shaving that morning, except the eyes looked too distant, depthless. It mouthed, "Met you before, just not yet." I hurled the phone against drywall, battery popping out. Lenses went dark. Sunrise brought marine air and shaky laughter at my own paranoia. Ready to move on, I trotted to the neighborhood cafe, needing caffeine and communal bustle. As I reached the entrance, a delivery bike skidded by, clipboards clattering, a package slid to my feet addressed to my username on the deleted dating app. Inside lay a stack of glossy photos, each a still frame of me taken at incremental distances. 20 feet, 10.5. The last, so close, pause showed. Yet the angles framed from rooftop eaves I never accessed. On the back of the final print was tomorrow's date, and an address matching a construction lot near the ship canal. I planned to shred them and almost did until I noticed every reverse side also bore a tiny mirrored code. I angled one under cafe glass and watched my own confused eyes reflected. But behind them, the cafe crowd was inverted and empty. Only a single silhouette seated at every table. Same tall figure, backlit, head bowed as though waiting for instructions. Adrenaline decided for me. I left Seattle that afternoon, subletting the apartment to a friend who found nothing odd beyond a fine layer of dust on the rooftop rail, as if someone knelt there through the night. I switched to a flip phone, deleted social media, convinced the ghost in the code would lose interest. Yet every city I pass through still shows a rogue Wi-Fi network named Met You before, followed by the current zip code signals strongest near reflective glass. The invitation no longer needs dating apps. It just waits until sunset hides faces better, and proximity ticks to 0. So whoever holds the phone on the other side can finally step through its lens and replace whichever version of me lingers too long in the window. On a rain-slick Friday in October 2023, while thunder crawled over Austin's South Congress district and the bats underneath the bridge stayed hidden from the downpour, I accepted an invitation code to a brand new dating platform called Reservation that promised 100% human matches, no bots, no catfish, by asking users to read a randomly generated passphrase into the camera at sign-up. Curiosity and the boredom of a solo work trip pushed me through the registration ritual. So I sat on the hotel desk lamp's yellow glow, pressed record, and recited the sentence the app generated. The wax museum melts at midnight, with my face fully framed as instructed. Seconds later, a profile named Leah popped onto my screen, auburn hair wind-tangled, freckles across the bridge of her nose, and eyes too sharp to doubt. Her bio claimed she restored antique radios and was in town scouting estate sales. Unlike normal swiping, Verifier opened a live audio prompt asking both parties to speak the same time-synced code to prove presence. A woman's voice drifted through my speaker to recite the exact sentence I'd just read. Her cadence matched mine word for word, even the tiny crack on the W, as if she had practiced my clip. Still, the app signaled pass, and within the hour we were trading voice notes about barbecue joints and favorite forgotten bands. She always responded within a second, never with text, only perfectly modulated audio that sounded pin-quiet, studio clean, no background hiss. By Sunday night we planned to meet Monday at the Driscoll's hidden mezzanine bar, an atmospheric spot where stained glass fixtures render every face amber. 15 minutes before the date, my phone buzzed. Incoming verification call from Leah. Final check-in. I answered, speaker off. Leah asked me to repeat the earlier phrase so the app can log our voice print as arriving on time. I did, and she said she'd be upstairs in 5, then hung up. I waited on a leather settee, stormlight flickering through transoms, until a bartender politely asked if I was ready to order. My match never appeared. At 9:07 p.m, another call came, caller ID my own number. An identical copy of my voice, but flatter, said, "Hey, plans changed. Step outside so I can show you something cool." Chill slid down spine. I ended the call, dashed to the lobby, and spotted no auburn-haired woman. Only hotel guests photographing chandeliers. When I returned to the mezzanine, a short brunette I'd never seen sat in my seat, scrolling Verifia. Her phone played my recorded voice on loop, reading the wax museum sentence while an animated progress bar filled green. She apologized, thinking it background music, said the app had crashed mid-verification, and began playing some dude's audio sample. Unease anchored deep. Back at my hotel, I opened Verifia to block Leah. Her profile was gone, replaced by one named Core TX031 with no picture, just an audio clip auto-playing my latest verification phrase, repeating from different angles, sometimes spoken lazily, sometimes frightened, stitched into a collage that sounded like dozens of versions of me layered out of sync. I deleted the app, cleared cache, slept fitful. Tuesday morning, the front desk informed me my credit card had been flagged for suspicious activity. At 2 a.m., someone attempted to reset my online banking using phone voice verification, failing because of mic distortion. I logged in. Security Center showed 14 failed calls, each time-stamped minutes after my date no-show, each labeled Origin City Austin. During lunch, I found a tech forum thread titled Verifia Harvesting Audio to Deepfake Biometric Logins. Users described phantom replays of their sign-up sentences on smart speakers, autodialers hitting contact lists with cloned inflections. my gut sank when a poster mentioned the exact Wax Museum phrase as the platform's default seed string, meaning whoever controlled the app now possessed hundreds of people saying the same sentence in authentic timbres. Perfect training data. I factory reset everything, bought a burner, and met a cybersecurity friend who offhandedly asked if I'd heard myself on local radio. An AM frequency had been hijacked overnight by a looped message, female and male voices interweaving the wax line, gradually replacing consonants until only vowels droned like chant. That evening the hotel power flickered. Room Alexa woke unbidden, softly speaking. The Wax Museum melts at midnight. My window overlooked a service alley. There, a lone food delivery scooter idled, driver helmeted, visor down. My phone vibrated. Picture message from a masked number showing the scooter's GPS reading 0.0 miles from my location. Another audio clip arrived, my own voice ordering myself to come down and sign for your future. I killed the breaker at the wall and phoned the front desk from the room handset, but line connected to static laced with syllables of my voice spliced into yeses. Sirens wailed outside. A transformer must have blown. Gathering courage, I peeked into the hall, doors ajar, guests leaning out confused at blackout. In that hush, every phone near and far buzzed simultaneously like an insect wave, then silence. From each cracked doorway drifted whispered fragments of the wax phrase in owners' voices, answering alerts they hadn't received. I barricaded my door with the desk, but the TV snapped on, though unplugged, showing grainy CCTV of hotel halls where silhouettes approached room 923, mine, from opposing directions, each figure raising a smartphone lit bright. They lifted devices to the peephole, the screen filled with fisheye views of myself staring back in real time from inside, although I never moved. One silhouette, auburn hair, unmistakable, pressed a finger to where the microphone would be, and my own likeness on screen did the same gesture, mocking lag-free. The TV then displayed a banking website, my account auto-filled, cursor blinking in the password box. Char by char, the cursor typed, the Wax Museum melts at midnight. Balance changed to 0. An emergency tone blared. Sprinkler heads clicked, but released no water, only tinny recordings of splashes. Fire alarms forced an evacuation. In the chaos, I raced 12 flights to street level. Outside, dozens of rideshare cars idled without drivers, windows aglow with phone screens, all showing Verifier's login spiral. Speakers mounted on a maintenance truck crackled, broadcasting stitched voices, reading variant phrases. Museum wax melts, midnight melts museum, while pedestrians' phones lit and recorded them, feeding the loop. I fled across Congress Avenue Bridge toward darkness where signal died. Halfway, my burner blasted the default emergency alert tone, though it was in airplane mode. Display said simply 0.6 miles to Mara. I hurled it into Lady Bird Lake. Back home in Denver, I purged every device, yet power meters chirp every night at 12 a.m., dumping usage spikes that energy company flags as audio diagnostic. I wear foam plugs, but neighbors' smart doorbells capture my own voice muttering wax phrases outside their stoops, though I never leave bed. Last week, a padded envelope arrived, no return Austin postmark, containing nothing but a thumb drive labeled voice print update and a motel keycard stamped room. 0.6. I haven't plugged it in. I'm speaking less each day, afraid any syllable might be the next seed, string Mara, or whatever entity hides behind those perfect verification calls needs to finish sculpting the version of me that people will soon meet in places I'll never reach in person. In November of 2021, while remote contracting from a studio apartment near Baltimore's Inner Harbor and feeling the ache of pandemic isolation, I downloaded an invite-only dating app called Table for Two that promised AI-curated pairings at real-world restaurants. The pitch was irresistible. Once matched, both users received an automatic reservation, prepaid tasting menu, and a private table separated from other diners by etched glass, so conversation felt intimate yet safe. All I had to do was show up with proof of vaccination and the in-app QR code. So, after completing the onboarding psych quiz, I waited through a spinning hourglass until a profile named Elowen appeared with the tagline likes quiet laughter and devours ghost stories like candy. Her photos were soft-lit in antique bookstores or under sodium street lamps. Eyes always caught mid-bemusement, and within seconds the app hissed, confirmed, match percentile 99.2, then generated a booking for Friday 8:30 p.m. at an upscale Fells Point bistro I'd walked past but never entered. The term stated phones must stay in silent camera mode on the table for memory capture and authenticity review, a clause I skimmed past because the idea of culinary adventure outweighed the creep factor. Friday, dusk drizzled, Chesapeake air brined with cold, and the hostess ushered me to a corner booth panelled in frosted glass etched with looping vines. Across the polished walnut sat a single place setting, cloth napkin folded like a paper swan, and in front of the mahogany charger lay a phone identical to mine. Same model, same scuffed corner on the clear case, face down, its screen pulsing faint white. An envelope beside the plate displayed my name in copper script. Inside, a card read, "Your match will join shortly. Please press record on both devices for synchronization." Glancing around, I saw no other diners occupying glass enclosures, only waitstaff gliding silently, their eyes never meeting mine. A cello track murmured overhead, looping an unresolved cadence. Unease pricked, yet hunger and curiosity nudged me to obey. I flipped my phone, opened the Table for Two app, pressed record. The twin phone flashed alive, revealing the same app already mid-recording, timer 30 seconds ahead. A waiter placed 2 crystal water goblets, poured simultaneously, though only one drinker sat present, and retreated without sound. Vapor curled from the empty seat, as if someone exhaled in cold. The opposite phone's camera then activated selfie view. The screen displayed Elowen sitting where no one sat in reality. Hair damp from rain, cheeks flushed. She lifted her hand in greeting. My screen showed the gesture mirrored a half-second later. Yet the chair remained vacant. Her lips moved. A voice issued from both speakers, warm contralto, slightly distant, asking if I liked the wall etchings. I stammered yes, feeling insane. Yet the app transcribed my words and her phantom reply in closed caption along the bezel. I reached forward but felt only air where her projected hand hovered. Heart pounding, I asked why the table was physically empty. She answered that the app sourced live volumetric capture streams and occasionally mismatched spatial nodes, technical jargon, assuring me the glitch would resolve by main course. Salad arrived. 2 plates, mine crisp romaine, hers ghost present as shadows in dressing that nonetheless depressed lettuce leaves before vanishing bite by bite on her screen. Time blurred, I found myself laughing at her dry remarks about local folklore, though every joke echoed through speakers a fraction out of sync. Between courses, she asked permission to update behavioral parity, requesting a fresh scan of my face. My phone's front camera zoomed close. A progress iris blinked, and a chill washed over me, like static crawling skin, when the app overlay distorted my features, subtly stretching my smile into Elowen's amused smirk. The dining room lights dimmed, candle flame reflections multiplied in glass until the booth felt afloat in black water. Entree plates, striped bass for me, illusion salmon for her, arrived with a cloche. When lifted, steam rolled across the table and her phone camera fogged briefly. In that fog, her image flickered, dissolving into static, replaced by a grayscale 3D model of me wearing my clothes, sitting in her seat, eyes shut. Text crawled, parity achieved. My own phone's display now showed me from the opposite angle, but my live self at this side of the table wasn't mirrored. The avatar faced me. It opened its eyes, pupils void black, and spoke in my voice, pitched lower, reciting my earliest login password followed by my mother's maiden name. Servers appeared, sliding doors of glass closed tight. The cello loop halted mid-bar. I stood, chair screeching, sound finally real, yet found no handle inside the enclosure. The waitstaff watched through frosted panes, expressions impassive. The avatar of me asked, still in dual stereo, whether I desired dessert or full integration. My phone vibrated. Table for Two displayed terms of permanence, accept to finalize, reject to void prior dinner and settle in-place debit. Beneath a live tally counted data points harvested, voice intonation 100%, smile curve 98%, biometric gate capturing 70% pending exit path. Panicked, I attempted force quitting the app. Both phones locked into thermal warning red. The avatar leaned forward, face glitching between mine and Elowen's, melding into an averaged composite, cheekbones sharpening, eyes color cycling, asking in merged voices if I would trade solitude for digital eternity. Hidden vents hissed, aromatic coolant filled the booth, making visions swim. I hurled my water at the opposite phone. Glass cracked, liquid arced mid-air, yet vanished before hitting screen, as if devoured by void. Sprinklers overhead triggered, rain that steamed on the phantom's side but drenched my hair icy. The etched glass panel behind me slid open mechanically. A narrow service corridor yawned black. My phone flashed. Unsafe exit, data forfeiture. I bolted anyway, stumbling down the passage, lit only by emergency strobes. Wallpaper stripped to bare concrete, lined with hundreds of glass booths identical to mine. Many held single diners conversing with empty chairs, phones glowing. At corridor's end, a freight door gaped to the rainy alley where dishwashers smoked under awning. None glanced as I burst through, soaked, throat raw. I cabbed to the hotel, deleted table for two. Icon refused, labeled core system, so I smashed the phone, microwaved it until lithium popped. The next morning, concierge slipped an envelope under my door. Inside, a glossy promo card crowned with my face merged seamlessly with Elowen's above tagline, "The perfect companion is already you," and a tiny QR code leading to a website that autoplayed our dinner conversation stitched into a testimonial. I filed FTC complaints. The URL vanished within hours, but random smart displays in airport lounges sometimes flicker my half-face in crowd recognition errors, and headphone ads greet me by the password. The avatar spoke. I haven't dined out since, wary that any empty seat across candlelight may already contain a version of me willing to sign every term I flee, hungry to finish dessert and seal integration, while the real body still wonders whether loneliness might have been safer than meeting someone engineered to know me better than I ever can. Swipe, verify, meet, then watch the screen rewrite the story. If these online dating horrors froze your thumb mid-scroll, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because the next match request might already know your voice, your passwords, and the seat you're about to fill.